Alright, what's up, y'all? Welcome to another video, vlog, whatever you want to call it. I'm here today in the garage and I'm going to be working on a couple things. First, I want to show you guys what I'm doing with this bumper of mine. Check it out. So, I don't know if you guys are Lexus boys or whatever, or any of you IS300 guys. I'll know that these look familiar. These are pieces from the TRD Neo V2 bumper. And my bumper is a Vertex V1 bumper. So what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to see if I can make work is actually just get these fog light holes molded onto this bumper, making it look cool. I don't know if it's gonna work out right, but the main point of this was to keep this bottom lip, because I love how this bottom lip like rolls out, and I just love how it's a short stance kind of thing. But I think shit's gonna look pretty decent, and I hope I can make it work. That's all I'm worried about. Before I get started with anything else, this video was sponsored by Okie Doke brand. Go check them out, get some new merch. They got shirts, sticker slaps, some real nice smelling air fresheners. If you want to save 15% off on your next purchase, use the code DJ10 to get 15% off, alright? Check out the boys, go support them. I went and I took one of the coolant necks to my fab guy, and he did his fab work. He put a bong on there so I could put these nice fittings on. Same thing on my radiator. The bottom one's just gonna be a straight rubber hose, but I need to get my other coolant neck cut and into a 45-degree angle so it doesn't interfere with my lines right here. Right now what I was working on was finding a way to run my ground cable to the chassis and then the motor. So yeah, and then I finally got my fuel lines set up, all marked up and kind of situated down there. This is how I got it. So I did a hard line for my clutch line, just kind of like a 180, and it tucks behind this canister back there. And then I ran my actual clutch line, which is this one, under there, so it won't be so stressed, you know, because it was kind of in a tight spot and I didn't want too much stress on it. So this gave it extra length. I got this bracket for my fuel filter, and I got these little clamps for my AN lines. So they just run all the way across, and these are the zip ties I was talking about. So I want to see if I can make a bracket that holds all of these, and that way I can get rid of the zip ties. And I want to make a better shield covering all this. So yeah, but everything else is bolted on. I got the trans on. All the bolts on the transit engine are tight. Got my clutch set up in there, and just waiting for my harness to get in so I can start plugging everything up. But right now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna cut my brake pedal. Let me show you guys. I don't think I wanted to spend that much money on a fucking brake pedal, so I'm gonna try cutting this as thin as I can and leaving a small pad instead, and we'll see how that works out, because the clutch pedal is very close here and I don't think I can pull it off like that, so let's do that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you get a cheap brake pedal. So that's how it looks. It looks pretty OEM if you ask me, except for the rough edges, but I could care less because I'm not gonna spend too much money on a brake pedal. Now I got my clearance, so I'm not gonna interfere with the clutch. I'm gonna buy one of these covers for this, and I think we're Gucci. For down here, if you could see, it's you can see the tranny. So what I'm gonna do right here is get some sheet metal, cut it out, and kind of make a cover, and then screw that down because I don't want noise and heat coming up from there. And then I'm gonna put sound deadening pads there so everything can be nice and quiet. I don't want to hear anything in the cabin. All right, so what I just did right there was make that little piece of sheet metal plate. It's basically just to fill that hole on the trans tunnel for noise or debris flying in there. And my main concern is actually just keeping heat out of there. So I have this leftover X-Mat. This is I bought this at Eastwood. I actually bought the packet of it. But what this does is just basically a sound deadening pad, but it also works good with like keeping shit out of the, so like if I cover that little hole in that spot, it's gonna make it quieter. I'm not gonna hear any noise from out there, and it's just gonna keep shit from coming in the cabin, which is good, and smoke and smells and heat, because it has this heat aluminum on top or whatever that's called. So yeah, I'm gonna put that on. All right, check it out. So I didn't really record because it's kind of a pain in the ass, but there's the distro block, and I got 2 4-gauge wires coming from my starter, and then this one's gonna be for my fuse box. I got this big 0 gauge coming from the alternator, and then this is the one that runs all the way to the trunk, to the battery. So I had to rip kind of like a hole in the insulation to drill this into the firewall, but I got it done, and then the carpet just covers it. But this is how my buddy David told me to route the alternator cable. So get a 0 gauge alternator, short one here, to this fuse block. From the fuse block I made another 0 gauge all the way into there to the distro block. So I gotta get heat shrink and like fit it around here nicer, because I didn't have any, but I will do that. The one I had actually just fit the 4 gauge, so that's how I have the 4 gauge. It looks nicer. Ran that from the starter across the firewall. So I ordered some clamps that I'm gonna have just mounted onto the firewall so it can look nicer, and then it's just gonna sit like this. So I also did this other nice little touch. Well, not really nice, but I think ideal. This is like a metal zip tie. It works real nice, and instead of having the plastic ones, I kind of replaced them and put those on. All my heat wrap that's on the body harness, I did it and I replaced them. I replaced the plastic zip ties with some of these. So basically, let me tell you how my battery is gonna be. The battery is just gonna sit right here, and obviously this is my power cable. So that's gonna be my power. I bought a brace for the battery. It's gonna bolt on right there, and then I'm gonna have my power, and then obviously my ground to ground. But after that, my whole interior is gonna go back in, and then I'm gonna put everything on top of the interior mats and have that set up. So I also put a little safety feature back there. Shout out to my boy Camille. He told me about this. It's just the OptiFuse. It's basically just a breaker that pops if something goes wrong. So I get mounted right on the side of the bracket for the battery, and I'm gonna have some cables running to that. So that's a nice little feature that I needed to do for sure. I'm working on my intercooler piping that I'm gonna start cutting, see how I want everything to sort of mock up and fit. My 90-degree elbow, because my fab guy is gonna do all that work. I just want to kind of mock everything up, make sure I have it in the right spot, and start seeing if anything's gonna be in the way, because on this side I have to relocate my airbag sensor, which is gonna suck, because if you could see the coupler right down there, it's in the way, and I barely have enough room to fit a 2.5-inch pipe somehow down there, but I hope my fab guy can make it work. So but yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I have more stuff that I'm gonna do coming soon, because I'm super close to getting a car running. I'm telling you, like, I can feel that shit, and I can't wait for me to plug everything in and give it a crank. But as soon as I get all my last parts and all the finishing touches done, I'm gonna make like a couple more videos on the whole process, and hopefully I'll give you guys like a startup video, or like the first time it turns on type of deal, because I want to get this thing running so bad. Stay on the lookout and just keep watching my videos and stuff, and hopefully this thing will run super sweet. Other than that, I'm gonna head out, guys, so I'll see you in the next video.